Good afternoon, Munchkins. I hope you guys are doing well. I am doing okay too. If you're new or you are a returning baddie, ciao. You're welcome. You're welcome. So in today's video, we will be cleaning together while I go over a few thoughts that were in my mind recently. So, guys, if you just think about it, what usually happens when you're alone, like in your room and you just cleaning, right? And well, you're not talking to anyone. You will not be talking to anyone because you are alone. And in most of the cases, you will basically be thinking in your head. You will just be in your head, right? And thinking of the things that you haven't done, thinking of probably what happened tomorrow, thinking of things that you should have done, things that you're going to do, right? Or things that you're scared of doing, or things that you want to do. A lot really happens. You're just cleaning, but you're stuck in your head. Just like there's just a lot of thoughts that are going through, running in your head, and that's normal. That's being normal. There's we all do that, okay, fine. But I take that as, it's basically the same thing that happens when you are stuck in your head, right? um I feel like that's what has been happening recently, or it's it's something that usually happens, especially with me, right? I get I get on my way a lot of times, right? I find myself thinking that I want to do this certain thing. I would like to do this certain thing. And it's not like I don't have a plan in my head, right? You usually have a plan in your head. You have a plan in your head. You know what you want to do. You know your next step. But what get in the way is you at the end of the day, because you are stuck in your head. And that happens to me like almost every time. Before I have to make a decision, I will go through it in my head and like overthink about everything. I'll find myself thinking that what if this happens? What if it happens like this? What if I do this, this is going to happen, right? I get to be so undecisive, and other situations want you to decide now and now so that you can have a go ahead, right? And if you don't decide, basically that means you're not going to be doing anything, right? And it's usually the same thing that happens with like all the little things that happen in our lives. For example, let's say you want to go to a gym, and that's been me. I've been wanting to go to the gym, but sis is sitting here not doing anything, child, right? It's it's like being undecisive and like being stuck in your head. You're just overthinking other things that basically should be easy, but it's difficult because you overthinking everything and you are stuck in your head. You be thinking of the things that might happen if you do this, things that people might say. What if this happens? What if I don't do it perfectly? What if I and I think like most of the time that usually comes from self comparison. When you compare yourself to this other person, obviously you compare yourself to someone that is at a higher level than you, right? Usually that's the case. And when you compare yourself that is at a higher level than you don't see where they started, right? You see their highest point, but you don't really think of where they started. Because more often than not, they started at the same level as you. You don't just get to be perfect at something. But when we compare ourselves, we compare ourselves with a person who is higher than us or who is at a higher caliber than us, and then we don't get to think where they come from, right? And that leads to a whole lot of self-doubt. You find yourself doubting yourself. You find yourself thinking that you might not do it you know as perfect as you see that person doing it, right? So it's like, guys, being stuck in your head is stopping you from doing things that you really, really want to do. And you have a plan, like you know what to do, like the first thing that you want to do, even if you don't know per se what I want to do, like a clear picture of what you want to do, but at least you know the direction where you want to take things, right? Sorry. But because you're stuck in your head, then you end up not doing that. You see 5 months down the line, you wanted to do that one thing, but still you haven't done that thing. And another thing is that it's very difficult to get out of that situation. It's very difficult to get out of your head because you are used to being in your head all the time, right? You don't really see a clear picture of you really doing that thing and it not being in your head but in physical form. So that's the difficult thing to move from, right? And the only thing that I have seen, well, from my opinion, what has worked for me is, I know it's not practical what I'm about to say, but like, just don't think about it, do it. It's the same thing that happened when it's crazy because, you know, if you would have asked me maybe 2 years or maybe in my second year or in my first year or third year, I was starting to think about a YouTube channel. But if you would have asked me first year or second year that, do you think you might open a YouTube channel later on, I would have said no ways. No ways, right? But if but then I think third year I started thinking about it. Eventually I started thinking about it and it was a constant idea. It was a constant thought in my head. And I think that also gave me strength to just do it because it was there all the time. It wasn't gonna go away, right? So if you've been having that one thought in your head or one thing that you've always wanted to do and it's back there in your head, just do it, child. There's no other way about it, actually. There's no formula about it. Close your eyes, do it. Close your eyes and just do it. Let's take this overboard now. This is my room. This bedding, actually, I got this bedding, all of this from Mr. Price Home. No man, Pep Home. I got this from Pep Home. But I think these two pillows are the ones that are from Mr. Price Home. But then the other ones, this one and this one, is from Pep Home. And then obviously this one is from Pep Home. And then we come here, my favorite part of the room. I got this from I think the shop is called Xmas. I'm not sure. And this, well, these plates, I got those plates because I wanted a darker theme like when it comes to my plates. And these beautiful ones, I got these from Checkers. I love them so much. And I think this one was 20 if I'm not mistaken. Then these ones 16, the small ones. Yeah. And then you guys know where I got the flowers. Okay. And you guys know where I got the flowers. And well, this has to be always there. It's easier for me to take it when I go to the hospital, you know. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is my space, and if you're watching this video, take this as a sign to make your space as comfortable and clean as possible. I love it.